My son told me I was too old, too slow, too much of a burden. Then he put me in a nursing home without my consent and moved into my house, like I was already dead. But I wasn't confused. I wasn't finished. While he thought I'd fade away quietly, I was planning something else. Something he'd feel every single time he opened his front door. This is how I made him regret the day he underestimated his mother. My name is Dolores. I spent 40 years building a life from scratch after my husband passed away far too young. I scrubbed floors until my knees cracked. I took in sewing jobs late into the night just so my boy, Jason, could wear a brand new suit at his graduation. I pawned my wedding ring to pay for his textbooks. I worked double shifts so he wouldn't feel different from the kids with money. But sacrifices like that, they fade from memory when people only see the present. One morning I fainted in the kitchen. Jason and his wife, Danielle, rushed me to the ER, faces painted with concern. But I didn't miss the glance they shared, quick and sharp, when the doctor said I was fine. Just dehydration. Within weeks, neighbors began whispering, "Dolores isn't doing well. Jason says she forgets things. That she's not safe alone anymore." The locks on my house changed. My checkbook disappeared. Then one afternoon Jason invited me to lunch. He smiled, told me he loved me, hugged me tight, and left me in a nursing home. I called him over and over. No answer. Days passed. Then I overheard staff saying my son had signed consent papers, forged in my name. My house, my accounts, my freedom, gone. At first, I sat on the stiff bed in that nursing home and cried until there were no tears left. Felt erased. Useless. But grief has a strange way of burning into resolve. So I began writing. Not prayers this time, not journal entries. But war notes. Dates, names, overheard conversations. Every little thread of truth I could tug on. That's when I remembered Monica Reeves, a lawyer I'd once met through church. I managed to get a call through. When Monica arrived, her eyes narrowed at the staff's hesitation. She listened to my story, then leaned across the table and whispered, "Dolores, if what you're telling me is true, your son and his wife are about to learn what elder exploitation really costs." I told her, "I don't want to go nuclear. I want to go biblical." The first step was proving I was of sound mind. Doctor came in, ran tests, asked questions. When I recited poetry from memory, solved math problems, and explained the nursing home's Wi-Fi password better than the nurse could, he chuckled and signed off. Competent. Verb. Independent. Next step. Monica filed for emergency revocation of the forged power of attorney. Court papers flew fast. Jason and Danielle were served at dawn, blindsided. I heard Jason tried to explain to the judge. "She's confused, Your Honor. She forgets things." But I walked into that courtroom in a pressed navy suit. Hair freshly done, voice steady as stone. "Confused," said. "I remember pawning my wedding band to buy your college textbooks. Does that sound like confusion to you, Jason?" The room went silent. The court froze my accounts, revoked Jason's control, and ordered an investigation into financial exploitation. When the papers were signed, I stood and walked, slowly, deliberately, out of that nursing home. The automatic doors opened, sunlight hit my face, and for the first time in weeks I felt free. But freedom wasn't enough. Jason had tried to bury me alive. I wasn't going to just walk away. Monica and I went further. We filed for partition of my property. That meant my house, the one Jason and Danielle were living in like squatters, would be legally forced into sale, with my share restored. When they got the notice, Danielle screamed so loud the process server said he nearly dropped the paperwork. Jason called me in a fury. "You can't be serious, Mom. You're kicking me out of my own house." I answered calmly. "The house you threw me out of. You don't get to call it yours." Weeks later, I stood across the street as a young couple toured my house. I watched them run their hands over the banister, smile at the kitchen window, whisper about raising children there. When the sale closed, I didn't feel sorrow. Felt peace. Because now the house had new life. Not stolen life. And here's where revenge turns sweet. With my share of the sale, I bought a little brick house right next door. The first morning Jason stepped outside in gym shorts to grab the mail. He froze when he saw me sipping sweet tea on my porch. I raised my glass. He turned and hurried back inside. Danielle hated it. She started throwing loud garden parties, blasting music, but her laughter sounded more like desperation. The cracks in their marriage widened. Tyler, my grandson, began slipping away from their chaos and spending afternoons with me. We baked cookies, planted tomatoes, and I told him the truth about what had happened. One evening he looked at me and said softly, "Grandma, you're colder than I thought." I laughed. "No, baby. I'm just done pretending silence is love." It didn't take long. Danielle packed her bags and went back to Texas. Jason spiraled into loneliness, blinds drawn, yard overgrown. Meanwhile, I donated $10,000 to a senior advocacy group. Anonymously. A lifeline for others who were nearly erased like me. Jason tried once more. He came to my door, eyes red, voice trembling. "I messed up, Mama. I thought I was doing the right thing." I stared at him, my son, my betrayer. "You didn't take care of me," I said. "You erased me." Then I closed the door. Later I rewrote my will. Jason gets nothing. Tyler inherits. And I created the Mayfield Legacy Grant, funds to help elders reclaim stolen dignity. When Jason learned, he called screaming. I answered once, "Forgiveness doesn't mean inheritance," and hung up. Now my evenings are peaceful. Tyler mows the lawn, we cook dinners, laughter drifts through the open windows. Jason's house sits dark, curtains drawn. Sometimes I wonder if he thinks of me, if he regrets. But regret is his burden, not mine. At the community center last month I gave a speech. They will call you old, burden. But truth is power. Silence is power. And the law is power, if you're brave enough to use it. The crowd clapped, smiled. Because the truth is, they thought they buried me. They didn't know I was a seed. If this story gave you chills, smash that like button right now. It really helps more people find these powerful stories. And I'd love to hear from you. What's the most satisfying revenge you've ever witnessed or lived through? Drop it in the comments because your story might just inspire a future video here on the channel. And don't forget, this is Revenge Twist, the home of betrayal, karma, and justice served ice cold. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you never miss a new story. We post fresh tales of revenge and redemption every week. And if you're hungry for more right now, check out the full Revenge Twist playlist. It's packed with stories just like this one, guaranteed to keep you hooked until the very last twist. You'll find it linked right here on screen and in the description below. Thanks for watching, and until next time, stay sharp, stay strong, and remember, karma never forgets.